You guys know.
I'm gonna wait for it to pop up on my
Mine is
notifications.
working on my end.
It sends me notifications through my Yahoo
Mine is
notifications.
working on my end. Okay, I can't play it on my mic though, cause is it working, Sam?
Yeah,
Alright, can you guys hear this?
I gotta unmute. Yeah, I can hear that.
Dude,
Oh my gosh.
Looks like you're gonna have to just sit there at your screen, dude.
Fudge, dude, I wanted to play a game. What about
Yeah,
this?
look at you.
Can you hear
Look
this?
at you with your.
Let me see. Yeah, I can hear it slightly.
Oh my fuck.
Enough to where you'd hear it in the pod.
Just sit here. Don't have to spike your dopamine the whole time.
I know,
Come
my
on.
dopamine needs spiking!
It actually makes it worse, by the way, when you do multiple things at once. It makes it to where I believe your dopamine is like, your threshold goes up, and then it's like harder, or like it just makes your threshold harder to hit and maintain.
I guess we're gonna go to the classic.
Oh, my mic sounds so crispy, dude.
Minecraft parkour.
My mic sounds so clean.
Tell me if why don't you keep in the stream just to tell me if it goes down or not.
Alright, well let Sam keep in the stream, because I don't even have an account, because I deleted the app. I never use the app, so I always delete it. The only time I ever download it is for free to check it.
Wow, what a guy.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys ready?
Here.
Let me get my notes and let me also see which HadsChat this is. Oh. Okay. Alright, you guys are ready right now?
Yep.
Yo boys, HadsChat 20!
22 up? That's
20
crazy.
bomb.
Let's
I didn't
go.
realize there was a 20 bomb.
With Gaiden and Sam, not Haas. I don't know. We had schedule. Haas isn't here. I don't know.
He
Yeah, we had a
chose
schedule.
someone else between the boys.
So we just
Yeah.
got Gaiden. I know.
Jaden
It's
may
alright.
be the new co-host here shortly. We agreed on a 9 p.m. every Sunday schedule, and Hoss was on board, but he's not here. So Gaden actually, I know we've been talking about it for a while, but he may actually take his spot.
Leave
a
it's
comment.
10:30. We waited an extra hour and a half, man.
Yep.
Hour and a half. Yeah, leave a comment if you like Gaben on it.
Yeah.
Compared to Jackson, just
Yeah,
Me
let
too.
us
Get in his
know
head.
what you think about this whole debacle with the co-host Hoss. We need extra input.
It's not good. I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking good for the boys. 20 podcasts and we can't hold it down. Might be
Yeah.
ready for a replacement.
We have consistency with 2 people. We just need that third consistent person. So.
All right, let's be honest. Who is the one that? Obviously, Cameron.
I've been
it's
on
his
everyone.
podcast. So Cameron is obviously the most consistent. Who's the least consistent out of Sam and Haas?
Oh, it's
Oh,
not like
it's Haas.
Haas. Sam,
I've been on
Sam's
on
probably
almost
been on
all
like
of them.
15. Haas has probably been on
Yeah.
like 10.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
dude, you're 5 out of
It's
10.
more than
Dude,
that.
come on.
It's more than that.
Like 12?
'Cause I've missed like 3, I think. And 2 of them I had a valid reason. The other one was just bullshit. So
Jeez, Jackson,
Haas
you gotta
is-
step it up, homie.
yeah, he's behind the 8 ball.
But
You
yeah,
guys
me and
gotta-
Gaiden are not on good terms. We played golf today, and I wasn't trying that hard today. I tried to take it a little.
Yeah.
Today was one of those days where I wanted to just like go and have some fun. So Gaiden ended up winning.
Cameron didn't really keep score. He just kept it in his brain. Yeah, he didn't really think about it the whole time. I was just kind of like, Cameron, you're at this point. And Cameron was like, nah, I don't
And
really
I was like,
care.
yeah, it's
you know,
not a
today.
big deal. But
Yeah,
no,
I'm
Gaiden,
Working on some some imperfections in my swing right now. I'm not really doing, and then I demolish.
It's one of those things though, like Cam, for all the viewers at home, he's pretty much at the top of his game with everything, so it gets
Oh, wow.
lonely there, and you gotta sometimes just take a step back and let other people win. So I completely understand that, Cam.
That's
Take it
crazy.
off. Need a break, you know.
That's wild.
damn, dude, Sam does know his shit.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Cameron just lost. I actually didn't care about Cameron's score, but he kept bringing it up the entire time, and he was like, "I was like, Cameron, what's
Yeah.
your goal? Like, what's your goal for the day?" And he was like, "Break 100." I was like, "Oh, that's nice." And then he goes, "My side quest is to beat
Yeah. It's just
you."
because whenever I'm at college, freaking gate and grind, so it's like golf is his shit. So I have a dominance like fetish pretty much. Going back to fetishes, like I have to be dominant in everything I do. Be the
That is
best at everything.
true.
Like I really have to be the best, or it pisses me off. Like it actually gets under my skin if I'm not the best at something.
Well, you
And
do have you have the natural ability to be good at things. So then when you aren't immediately winning something after like a couple
yeah,
of tries, it definitely gets in your head.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like a spoiled kid when they don't get everything they want, just in a competitive
No,
sense.
yeah, it actually is. I hate that I'm like
Like,
that, but I
yeah,
like
like you
winning.
get confused, not winning.
So when I pull up, I'm like, I'm probably not gonna beat Gaiden, but I really want to beat Gaiden. Last time though, I did beat
Yeah.
Gaiden, but today I did not.
Yeah, don't get us started on last time.
Yeah, I don't even wanna.
Yeah, that was domination.
But yeah, what have you been up to, Sam? I know me and Gaiden have just been golfing.
I've been going out on the lake a lot, just getting some sun, enjoying the lake, casual stuff. Nothing like y'all. Not putting in the work like I should in golf. But tomorrow, it starts tomorrow. I'll be back at it. So.
Oh, I actually saw you the other day. I forgot. You're freaking red. The ginger in you, bro. Where your
Yeah, I got
skin
burnt
gets
really
burned.
bad, and my face is still red. So I don't know what to do. I put sunscreen on too. It's just ginger life.
Are you okay? Do you need aloe?
Oh God. Jeez. Don't get me started on that.
That's an inside joke, pod. Can't go
Yeah.
into that.
We'll just say that I got asked if I needed aloe one too many times.
Dude, I got into an argument with Colby the other day about, like, at the golf course, though, about the most mechanical sport there is. So I want to know what you guys think about that.
Most mechanical.
Well, it started off what sport takes the most skill.
Skill.
And I'm just going to throw out my argument. Colby said golf, and I said golf takes a lot of skill. But I think, me and Gaten have argued about this before, actually, but I said, I think a sport like MMA takes even more skill. Because golf, you're not really, like, you're playing other people, but their game doesn't actually affect your game at all. Like, they don't have an active effect on your game, except mental. But in, like, a sport like MMA, where you're going up against another pro, it's completely reactive. And, like,
Yeah.
like you're constantly reacting to the other person, having to change shit constantly.
So
I would probably say MMA now. I don't remember what I said. If I said
You
golf,
said
I'd
golf
probably
back
call
in the day?
I'd probably call myself retarded. I'd say MMA now.
But you said most mechanical, right?
No, the original argument was most skill based. I know I said most mechanical, just
I don't know, dude.
skill.
I think it's either golf or baseball, to be honest. I'd maybe even say baseball, bro. 105 mile per hour fastball, and you have like less than half a second to react. And
Invalid.
it's spinning like at 900 RPMs per second.
I watched a guy who was like 350 pounds to 400 pounds talk about how he was so good at. He had such a great skill at hitting like 120 mile per hour
I've
balls.
heard that hitting a baseball is like the hardest thing, but that's like
Yeah,
not the whole
but
sport.
Gaden,
though.
that's a 400-pounder in a batting cage, getting them right down the pipe over and over.
I know.
Again. You're gonna be able to touch that. Like we're talking in game, you don't know what's coming at all, and there's like breaking balls that are like 95 miles per hour. Cam knows from MLB The Show with Edward Cabrera, like, and that's a video game. Like, imagine in real life. And
It
just
doesn't
trying to
touch
put that
MMA
in
though.
play.
I think
Because MMA is like so much different. You have height reach as well as like. Then you have to learn how to wrestle and like jujitsu. Not only that, but it takes like 10 years for you to get your black belt. If you don't have a black belt, you're screwed. As soon as you fight someone who does, then it's like you have to be good at least stand up now. Like it's crazy. If you're not good with kicking or punching, and you don't have ground game, which takes like 10 to 15 years to be good at, you're like done for. And then also if the person's longer than you, it's like good luck.
I don't know.
There's like so
dude.
many things.
That's
yeah,
just
Sam. I
such
think that's a
matchup
different
thing.
argument. I think baseball, like hitting a baseball, is like the hardest thing in sport, but there's more to baseball
Yeah.
than just hitting a baseball. Like
Yeah,
the rest
well,
of
then
baseball, like outfielder catching a pop fly. I know they do
If
more.
that's the-
I know there's some
If
crazy
that's the
plays they
case,
do.
then I would say golf. Golf is so like difficult to master. Like you cannot fuck up. Like one shot ruins an entire round. Like the object of golf is to literally be perfect when you go out there. And like if you get a bad shot, you have to literally like make up for that with like an insane shot.
It's hard to say skill, but
Like
like
MMA might be the
It's
hardest
just
to like get to the top, but I think golf is the hardest to master then. And then I think the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a like baseball. Like out of the park.
I
Like
don't
that's
know,
just
dude.
crazy.
I don't think that's the hardest thing. I just don't agree with
Well,
that.
we learned
what do you
today
think? Hole in
that he
one?
never
Actually, it
played-
might be hole in one over that.
We learned today though that Gaden's never played baseball, so I don't know if he could even speak on the fact.
Yeah, we're talking about my
the farthest-
throwing, but like
the
hitting
farthest-
something is different.
Yeah, but the farthest you ever played was T-ball, right? So you were hitting off a tee. You don't even know what it's like.
Yeah, but
to
I've never fought an MMA match. It's the
Well,
same
yeah,
thing.
but
So
still.
No, it's the same thing. I'm just talking from the outside perspective.
It's probably just
Yeah.
what you think is skill, though.
Also, though, like I wouldn't say it's even like if we're like it's more than skill. Like if we're talking about you're talking about the whole sport. It's
Yeah,
like
that's why I think
if you
MMA
look
too.
at golfers. All right, now watch like literally. It's such a great example watching like I don't know Travis Kelsey. Anybody who swung anything. If you swung a club, if you're athletic in general, look at all the people. None of them are athletic, or they played some sport where they played baseball or hockey. All those guys are cracked. Or if you just look at like Steph Curry. Steph Curry's put in like half the time of has like all those guys, and yet he still can shoot like 70 something. He can still shoot like almost under par, and he's a basketball player. He's not even
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
versus
we're discounting
like,
the
it's
fact
just
that dudes
different.
like that like are getting to golf alongside with the greats who are teaching them like insider secrets, and also those guys are playing a lot more golf than you actually think they are.
no,
I'll
but
say
like
this.
that doesn't even compare to like how much golf like Roy McIlroy has played, for
Yeah,
example, and
I'll
yet
s-
like they are not far from like being like at that. Obviously, it would take them a couple more years, but
it
like
is a
it's
drastic difference.
there's no
between
there's no
Curry and
athleticism.
McIlroy.
There's no athleticism compared to like if you look at even if it's like football you have to be a freak genetic to play it. Really, you have to be massive, you have to be super tall. If not, you can't play it. Basketball is pretty much the same thing if you want to be
Well, football, you
successful.
don't have to be tall, but
MMA is literally like you have weight classes, but you have to have like not everybody has the mindset to go
yeah,
to the top.
it's the same thing then. Like you got to be born with that mindset. Like you don't just like really obtain that. Like some people do, but like
But you can be taught golf though. You don't have to be. You can't be taught how to fight somebody. Like you can, but
yeah,
you can't.
can.
Like yeah, but you can't have the like the fighting. If you're like on the ropes, you could. It's so easy to give up. Versus golf is like
Yeah, so you
it's
got
not
to be
even
born with that
like
like dog
different.
in you then. So it's the same argument. I'll say this though, MMA is definitely up there for me as well, and I think the reason it is because the amount of time it takes to like actually master it. That's where I will respect the like difficulty.
The time it takes. So
Yeah,
then,
like Gaden was saying,
what
like
do you think
15
about-
years.
what do you think
just
about
to
chess?
Master something. I mean, chess is extremely difficult to like be a grandmaster or whatever. But that's
Yeah.
just a whole different like.
That's memorization. For
That's
the most
just a
part,
whole
isn't it?
different
no.
thing versus like MMA versus hitting a fastball versus golf, whatever. Like,
Yeah, it goes back to like, what do you consider skill? Like, is it the most skill having like strategy, or is the most skill being like so consistent, or is the most skill being reactive with MMA? Consistency
it's so
with
hard
golf.
to say because like, okay, a good comparison would be like Tom Brady, not the best athlete, but his mind is just so above and beyond leagues ahead of any other quarterback. That's what made him great. But like Patrick Mahomes, he's a smart quarterback, but his arm talent is elite. So like, I think every sport you can be like cracked as hell in different ways, whether it's mental or physical.
I think the difference is looking at it is like, can you train someone to do that specific sport? Which is why like the only argument against golf is really if you are a talented athlete in general, which there are a bunch. If you look at them, if you look at all the sports, there are so many people who can come out of other sports and play golf, for example, and be good. Versus if you take
I agree
I don't
with
know
that,
Tiger
yeah.
Woods. Tiger Woods is not going to be dominant on the basketball court. He's not going to be dominant in football.
I'm
He's
telling
not going to
you,
be dominant in baseball.
it's also a
Like-
huge thing that golf is like a single. Hold up, we can relate this to video games in a way. You guys know Dark Souls, right? In Souls games,
Yeah.
how they're like the hardest like games, pretty much difficulty wise.
Mhm.
But they're single player games, so they can be mastered, right? Like a bunch of people can master it, get really good at it. But like Smash or Mortal Kombat at the top level, when you're playing directly against another top level person, it's still like you can still take L's. But there's people doing like full runs on Dark Souls without like getting hit, just because it's like there's no external force, like another player force. I know in golf it's also, I can already smell Sam's about to say like, well, in golf there's external shit too,
No,
which
I
is
actually
true,
don't. I
like
actually don't
wind
think
and
that.
stuff.
I mean, that's a factor, but I agree. I think
Like,
player versus player is much more difficult than, and that's why
yeah,
I was
that's why
arguing
I give it
pitcher
to.
versus batter
I would say
more
the
than I
hardest
would
thing about golf is that you're trying to replicate the same swing
Yeah, the
exactly a
consistency.
million times in a row. Yeah, like being consistent, I would say yes. Golf is probably the hardest one because it's literally like you're doing the same swing for like thousands, hundreds of thousands of times, and you're
Yeah,
expected to do it in front of millions of people, and you're expected to go and play against 70 to 150 people and win number one. If you don't win number one, then it doesn't matter. That's
yeah.
crazy. That's the hard part.
I would say golf is the hardest mechanical sport to master in terms of your swing and all that. But competitiveness, it's like, to me, it's. I guess yeah. You guys make a good point. It could very well be like UFC, MMA, but I think the hardest thing to do would be to hit.
I don't know. It's just like if
Be a
you look at
batter.
like John Jones is like, I don't know. Like could you imagine fighting someone who is, let's say like you're 6'2", right?
Yeah,
John Jones is like 6'4". Imagine
yeah.
fighting someone who's 230 pounds, 6'4", is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And it's like imagine training for that. He's also like, I don't know. Like it's just how are you even like supposed to
Yeah,
attack
and you
something
can
like
go
that?
into it and you can be like completely unprepared still. But golf, you
Then
can
there's
map out the whole course like before
Then
you
there's the
play it.
mind game of like McGregor was perfect. Like there's the whole mind game before. Then it's I don't know, people like flinching. You have to like constantly your physique, like your training has to be so good. Fighting for 5 minute rounds is crazy. Like throwing as hard as you can for 5 minutes, for 30 minutes, sorry, is crazy. Like trying to like completely wrestle somebody. If anybody's ever done that, which probably most people have, it literally takes like 2 minutes and you're gassed. Like
Oh yeah.
your
I
stamina
don't.
has to be insane.
I will say this though. Even though you see a lot of blood sometimes, I don't think it's the most violent sport out there. I think football is because that's a car crash every time you hit somebody, literally.
Yeah.
Like football is definitely the most violent, but MMA looks the
Uh,
most violent.
you think
But
bare knuckle
football's,
boxing?
well, I mean, yeah, but
Bare
I don't
knuckle
know.
boxing is crazy.
It's probably talking
That's
about
a
like
I
that's a
still don't.
mainstream
professional sport.
sports.
I still don't think that that's as violent as football because they literally say it's like getting in a car crash every time. Like imagine a 6 foot, 200 fucking 20-pound linebacker who runs a 4.5 40, he's running full
Yeah, I would
speed
agree
at
with
you
that.
and drops his crown of his helmet into your head.
Uh,
Like
that's
Especially
stuff
a,
like that.
now.
Like those are mini car crashes every single play, and on average there's like 60 plays uh, for a game. So like 60 car crashes if you're like a running back per se. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's valid.
I actually had a teacher in high school that had a saying that was like sort of relates to what we were talking about, where he said the hardest thing in sports is to hit a baseball. The hardest 7 seconds in sports is the play, like a football play, and
yeah,
then the rarest thing in sports is a hole in one.
yeah, I think that's well said.
That was the Hart that said that. Fun fact.
Yeah, I could see him saying that.
He said
That's yeah.
something about basketball. There's something about basketball in there. Like maybe the hardest. I don't know. He might have said like the
I mean,
hardest 30 minutes or something, or like
you
the
could
most
say the
time.
same thing about basketball too, though. Like being able to shoot from anywhere on a court, replicating the same exact shot every single time for every
Oh
single shot.
yeah, because
It's
like
kind
an
of the same. It's
insane
the same as a swing.
an insane 3-point percentage is 50%. That's insane.
But then also with basketball, you kind of have to be a like
That's why it's
I mean,
harder
You gotta
though.
be
Also,
tall.
you
You gotta
have
be
to be
like
a
6 foot
physical.
or up,
Yeah, you have to be like physically tall.
gifted.
Yeah, physically gifted. Thank you. Yeah, like because if not, then it's the same thing with football. If not, you'll just be. I mean, yes, there are people who are 5'8" that make it, but it's like one in
You're locked
millions.
into a well, no, you're locked into a position at like 5'8", like you're a corner, like that's your only
Yeah,
option pretty much. But
it's not the same as
like, you're not
being
gonna see
LeBron. You're not
dudes
going to be the best.
like football, dude. Like you're not gonna see a guy over 6'6" typically, except for maybe a couple linemen. Like your quarterbacks are gonna be like 6'4" to 6'6",
Yeah,
And
but
they can even be 5'11", but then everyone else is like 6', 6'1", 6'2", and that's just the
still,
honest truth.
that's crazy though. Like being, imagine being like what? I think Drew Brees was 6. He was like 6'1" or something, 6 foot, and he was
He
short,
was
wasn't
like
he?
6 foot maybe.
Yeah, he's like 6 foot, and everybody was like, "Yeah, he's a super short quarterback." I don't know how he did it, and he was good. Like everybody was like, for him being so short, it's crazy that he's that good for
Well,
being
that's where it
six
goes
foot.
back to the mental aspect. Like he had a great football mind, and like that's what really helped him. Because like early in his career, he had really good arm talent. He could throw the deep ball, but as it progressed, he was a like slant guy, check down stuff. But he just knew when to let go of the ball. He didn't hold on to it too long. So that's what set him apart. Guys like him and Russell Wilson and stuff like that. Hopefully Bryce Young with the Panthers, but sorry, that was a little bit of tangent.
No, it's
Uh,
alright. I think the reason in basketball why it's hard and why 50% free throws or 3 points insane is because the other person, back to like the other person being on it. Like in golf, they can like the pros can recreate their shots pretty good. But in basketball, like if Steph Curry's in a gym by himself, he can shoot insane numbers too. Like
Oh
way
yeah.
above 50% because there's no one on him. He doesn't have to react and shit. It
Well,
just
didn't
goes
he
back.
shoot 100 straight threes?
Probably. That doesn't sound that
Yeah.
insane. I mean, for
Yeah.
Steph, that is insane, obviously.
Yeah.
Only
he could
like
probably shoot
I
80 out of 100 though. Imagine like
yeah.
if it's Steph, that's 80%.
Yeah.
Compared to like golf, everybody's quiet. Nobody
Yeah.
speaks in your swing. You have absolute silence to think. It's like super gentleman-like.
Exactly.
So it's like it's just you versus your own mind, which honestly is like they all say like as long as you put in the reps, then on it like
And
you're
that's
on
my
it.
argument, bro. I mean, that still takes hella skill. It's just different. I consider skill more reactive. That's how I think.
It's also hard that none of us have played every single sport.
Well, yeah, I'm
Like
sure someone watching's like, "Oh, dude, cricket's the hardest sport there is," and they have no idea.
No, I would equate golf more to tennis than anything. And like you guys don't understand it as much, but like the tech do it. Like once you master that, like you can just be good.
even then, you could say soccer is the most. You really want to go that far? Soccer is the most played sport in the world. So good
Yeah.
luck being top percentage in the like out of hundreds of millions of people. It's like all right,
If you but then if you think about just top percentage, then you could go back to chess, where there's only like 200 grandmasters in the world out of everyone playing chess.
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
just
there's an
saying-
argument.
it's all
for everything.
objective.
I'm comparing golf to tennis more in terms of like there's just secret tech that like you got to know someone that can teach you. Like you can't like it's not easily found. Probably because the sports aren't as popular.
Secret tech. You think there's some crazy golf thing that only the higher ups
Like
know?
I'm saying, like you have to dig to find like certain ways to like swing your club or like learn how to do certain things, just like you would if you want to learn how to hit a kick serve or whatever it is in tennis.
It's also
Whereas,
harder
like, you look
depending.
up football shit and it's all there. Like you can learn how to read a 3-4 defense if you're a quarterback like easily. You can learn zone defense in basketball. Like there's easy tutorials.
I think something else to take into account is also like team sports versus non-team sports.
Yeah.
Like if you're on a basketball team, like I mean, you see it. If you're LeBron James and you have
I
an
don't
ass
think
team
I
that
don't
you
think
dish
team
to,
is as much. I don't think team sports are as much skill as one on one. Like
I mean, yeah,
So you
I
would
like
have
Charles
more
Barkley's
respect-
different. I mean,
You'd have more
he didn't win a ring.
respect for a 1v1 golf match or a singles match in tennis than you would 11-on-11 NFL football.
yeah, like I think, for
Yeah.
instance, being the goat. I would say being the GOAT tennis player, like most dominant tennis player, championship wise. I know there's so many asterisks, but I say being the most dominant tennis player, championship wise, is more impressive than like winning the most championships in basketball. Because isn't that guy who has the most championships in basketball, Bill Russell?
Bill Russell.
Like, yeah, people always shit on there. It's like he's not like he can get carried to a championship in a team sport, and you're not the
Yeah, I
sole
agree.
reason.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so
Like,
I
We
think
have to
like
have
Roger
2 to 3
Federer.
people.
so. If you're actually the best in a one-on-one, another reason
Yeah.
we've talked about fighting games a lot. That's why I love fighting games and playing them with people, because if you beat them, like you are better than them. You beat
Yeah, there's
them
no
one-on-one. Yeah.
Like in Siege, like with Jake. Like,
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, your team was stacked, bro. I had Haas on my team. Of course I'm
yeah,
gonna
like
lose.
arguably. Well, I'm talking more like when we would squad up. Like, arguably he's the best, but like there's a factor to like, would he have won the game if X, Y, and Z didn't happen based off of like me getting a kill or you getting 2 kills or whatever, you know? Like, you
Yeah.
can't definitively say you're the best, but if you go into like Wimbledon and Roland Garros and all that, and you win everything, and you like, that's just how it is, and you're the best tennis player.
And
I
I've
don't know. The
learned
dream
that.
team. Dream Team's like a perfect example. Like Charles Barkley didn't win a single ring, yet he was dominant. And as soon as he got on the Dream Team, he was like, it was the most fun basketball because we just demolished everybody by like 40 points. And he
Yeah.
was a great basketball player, but he didn't have a single ring. But he just played on trash teams. He couldn't do it all himself.
Yeah.
I think also playing League of Legends reinforced that mindset because it's a 5v5 game too, and I've had games where I pop off and go actually insane, but I have 4 like dog shit teammates, literal dog shit, and we still lose. Or I'll just do terrible and we'll still end up winning. Like, so it's not. I don't think team stuff is as impressive
Mm-hmm.
unless it's like full chemistry. But I don't know.
Or it's just like a straight up carry and everyone knows it.
Yeah, like an obvious carry.
Like when Kobe played his last game, like they wouldn't have won that game if he didn't drop whatever it was he dropped, like 70 or
Like
whatever.
watching, Kobe drop 60 points is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, stuff like that. Or like Mahomes throwing for 6 touchdowns in a game. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
he had to rely on his receivers, but he had to make the throw. You know?
That's one
Well,
thing
that's
I
what
don't
always-
like about football, actually.
What?
I hate how it's like QBs get so much credit.
Well, it's deserved though.
I know it
Like,
makes
really
sense,
is.
but I just hate how it's such a solo. Like everyone's like, "Oh, that QB." Like if the Bucks win, they're like, "Oh, Tom's the goat." Like
Yeah.
Tom's just,
I mean-
like you know what I mean?
The quarterback is the general of the team, like especially offense, of course, but like they're the leader. Like people rally behind them, and on offense, the quarterback has to make all the reads. Sometimes they even call the plays. Like they
But
tell
100%.
the receiver what to do, and of course the receiver is like athletically gifted and like gets open or makes a great catch. But like quarterback's got to put it there, you know. So I think that's why they get a little more credit than.
Because no one says, look at that line. Get that lineman. Look
Yeah,
how
well,
cracked he is.
Yeah.
Which
That's
the
the
line is
thing.
so important, though. Because
Offensive
everybody,
line is what wins championships. It starts in the trenches.
100%. Because everybody is like, if they have a trash offensive line, then they just defend the quarterback because the quarterback would be able to do something if the offensive line is good. But then
That's
as
what
soon as the
everyone
quarterback
talks
is
about
trash, as soon as the quarterback is trash, then everybody is like, dang, the quarterback's just losing all the games. But as soon as the quarterback and the line's doing good, everybody goes to the quarterback. So it does.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel so bad for them. Imagine being a lineman. You're like dog shit. And I was like, God, they only lose because the shitty lineman. And then next year you just grinded the next 3 years and you're a god lineman now. And they're like, oh, the quarterback's so good. They don't even talk. They don't even hype you up at all.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's so sad.
that's more. It's definitely a true thing, but like you're like big fans, like people that really follow it, they're gonna. And obviously, it doesn't matter. The linemen aren't gonna hear from the fans, but like they're gonna respect the line and like talk about it.
That's so funny. The
Like
lineman will never hear from the
Yeah.
fans.
Casually, the line never gets credit. They only ever get told they suck. But when they're doing good, typically, yeah, you're right. They really
Yeah.
don't any-
But nobody cares once they're getting millions of dollars in the bank. Let's be
Oh,
honest.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it doesn't
less
even really,
casual.
it doesn't truly matter.
I think, though, if I were to be like a god at one of the sports, and just, I feel like you'd also choose a 1v1 sport. Like, if you could choose to be really good at one, because then you could get all the credit.
Yeah, I would choose tennis because that would be just such an awesome lifestyle. Like you get, like it's all just fancy shit, like Rolex and
Oh, for the
Polo.
sponsors?
yeah, the sponsors, but also like the people that are watching it, like the crowd that's watching it. You might not have like people like us that are into it, but like you're going to like fancy ass places to play, and there's so much money like in the sport. Like I just feel like that'd be so cool to be like the greatest tennis player alive.
Man, I'd
Tennis?
play soccer, dude. You could go anywhere in the world and live wherever you want. You can live in Spain. You can live in Italy.
Yeah,
You-
but that's
and
not
also-
a 1v1 sport.
I mean, yeah, true. I'm just talking about sports in general.
Oh,
Yeah, but what
If we were talking about 1v1, then I'm probably just playing like, I guess golf, because
Yeah.
then you get clubs all the time. It's a sport I love to play, and then you just
yeah.
get to go wherever and play the nicest courses.
What if you had to
Assuming
live in
you're-
Mexico,
assuming you're good.
though? You got
Nah.
shot up by the cartel.
Dude, nah. I wouldn't even. Dude, nah. That'd be so scary.
You wouldn't
I
risk
would
it?
I'd give them money so they would protect me. That's what I would do.
Does the cartel,
I'd pay
like,
the
are they
boys.
chill with, like, the celebrities down there?
Probably. Dude, a celebrity goes missing? Come on.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
Dude.
recently they haven't been like in Cancun and stuff. Like that was like a no.
Wait, you
like,
being dead ass?
Yeah, like there was a shooting like cartel like thing in Cancun, and like the whole thing has always been, at least that's what they say, is like their cartel is that's like a, for lack of a better term, demilitarized zone, because like tourism's a big thing. Like that's where money comes from in a lot of countries like that. So
There
like
was a
they don't want to
shooting
like
in-
ruin those places for tourists. And
Oh, so they're pissed.
but recently that was a thing. Like the cartel went into Cancun for whatever reason and did something. So I guess that stigma's over now.
Dude, that's literally where I was going for spring break next year.
Yeah.
That's alright. Sounds like the
Ah.
cartel is protecting you.
Dude, now
Sounds
I'm
like they're shutting
scared.
it down.
I
No,
don't know,
cartel
though.
was the
No,
one
the
that did the
cartel-
shooting, he said.
Yeah, the cartel was the one that went in and did that.
Oh.
Like they shot people. Yeah, so who knows?
Just random people?
I'm not
Probably
sure,
not.
but I heard from Hunter's girlfriend Gabby, whose family lives in Mexico. So
You know what's crazy? I knew. You guys remember Louise from high school? I don't know if you remember. Louise was
I know
there
you're
was a kid
talking
named
about. I know you're
Louise.
talking about.
with glasses.
Yeah, there was a kid
Yeah.
named Luis, for those listening, at our high school, and he went to visit his family in El Salvador, and he had long hair, and he had to wear a hat, and apparently this is true, he's not lying.
Yeah.
He had to wear a hat the entire 2 weeks to month he was down there, because if they figured out that you have long hair, they like kill you.
Really?
They like
What?
they kidnap you, and it's like over. If the boys find out, if like the squad figures out that you have long hair, oh, it's game over. You get like
Long-
kidnapped and never
Killed
seen
over
again.
And
your
killed?
long hair.
Yeah.
Wait,
and
why?
He said he had to wear a hat the entire time.
Why
he
did
said
he
didn't-
cut his hair? Why did he even risk that?
Dude, Lord, if I know.
He's been
Freddie
growing it for
confirmed. Freddie
months,
was like,
bro.
"It's Freddie for real."
You know?
It's too important. Are you joking? No, Freddie said it. Freddie was like, "Yeah, that's true." Now I don't know how. I'm assuming it's true because both of them.
Wait, why?
Confirmed it.
Is it against
Luis
their
used to
religion or
fib.
something? Or is it like, damn, this dude's gay as shit. He has long hair. He looks like a girl.
It could be something like that. I don't know.
Or is it
But
like
they
an
had-
anti-American thing? Like they don't like the fact that that's okay here? Like what?
We should
I don't know.
prank Haas and bring him to El Salvador.
Yeah.
Tell him for the church, and then
We could
just
finally
Jackson
get
never.
Aiden to be the new co-host. alongside
Oh
me.
my, the
We
security.
wouldn't
Yeah.
have to keep talking about it.
Yes, we gotta go ahead and send him.
Dude, that is crazy. Haas is in the next Live Leaks video.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh, dude! You know how bad that would be. Oh my gosh.
Someone you actually know. We could talk about the Live Leaks. We
Yes.
had the intense conversation about it on our way to cookout the other night.
Yeah.
Dude, seeing a person you know on Live Leaks. So for those listening, Live Leaks, just like a bunch of basically videos. that you
The
can look up.
worst possible videos. Like, guys
A lot of them are
getting their
cartels.
heads cut off. Like, actually showing it. And
Getting
not just
their
like...
arms sliced off. stuff
Yeah.
like that.
And not just sliced
Good.
off, like, cut through slowly with a machete.
Yeah.
So an example is there's a video. So it's the Mexican cartel, and the guy somehow steals money or something from the cartel. So to then punish him and to make sure nobody else does it, they video record it, and they then, dude, it's so crazy to even think about. They shoot him up with like cocaine or something so that he cannot fall asleep and he's wired. So he's awake during the entire thing and he can't pass out from pain.
Ugh.
He's gonna be awake and feel everything. And then they then get a machete, and they have his arms lifted up and they're tied, so he's like separated. And they then chop at his arm, starting above his shoulder, like you're gonna cut a tree. They then go at the top of his shoulder, and then they break the bone, and then they then go under his armpit and slice like you're gonna slice a tomato.
Ugh.
Dude, and then they do that around all 4 limbs.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All 4?
Yeah.
Yes, they
hack
start
his
at
feet
one.
off.
Go to the next one. Go to the next. Dude, it's so crazy.
I've seen that one. Josh showed
Oh,
me. They like
dude.
hacked his feet off. It was awful.
Does
the guy is
dude,
awake
like,
the entire
screaming?
time.
Or is he just, like, out of it? sort
After
of?
after they hacked both his feet off, he looked down and he like started to realize what was happening. and then he starts screaming. It's disgusting though.
Because he's drugged up, dude.
Fuck.
Imagine
Yeah.
like the adrenaline you have, and then you're not even like, dude, it's so crazy. Or like, there's another one that's called Ghost Rider, and they have this guy like tied down on this bike, and then they pour oil on him, and then they just like light it on fire as he's awake, so he's just burning alive, and then all the guys are like, Ghost Rider.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they light him on fire on a bike.
And
There's
these guys are
another
just-
one.
These
Dude,
guys
this
are all
is
people that
crazy.
did the cartel dirty.
Yeah, like they stole from the cartel some way.
Okay.
They did something to make the cartel be like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and put you as an example, so everybody knows if you do this and you cross us, you're gonna get demolished. Like it's torture to the whole next dude. It's crazy.
So if I get a
It's so
Cancun
wild.
and I'm just like a drunk college kid, I don't have to worry about getting like turned
As
into
long
a
as you don't-
target.
Probably not. I mean, you're safe, dude. I doubt you're gonna be going anywhere where there's even a chance. But I guess you never can be too safe.
You just be mindful of who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying? Don't be that guy.
I just
But I gotta say, dude,
You be respectful of the boys down there.
it's interesting that people like consume that type of content. Because to me, I just don't know how you could.
Dude, I
Like,
don't know.
hell
watching
no.
a real human lose their life. The few times I have had the unfortunate experience of doing so and watching that, it's just so like it doesn't look real, if that makes any sense. Like you watch like movies or play video games and it's super over like dramatic and gory, and then you watch something like that, and yeah, there's the few that I've seen that are like super graphic, but most times it's like someone getting shot in the head, and you have this idea of what it's gonna look like from the movies, and then you see like the real deal stuff, and it just doesn't look real at all. And
Just because
it's
it's so
like,
fast, it's just over like that.
yeah, and like there's no flinch or like they don't get knocked back. You don't see blood normally, and it's like a tiny little hole in their head, like, and it's just like,
The camera
don't know,
cuts away
dude.
from them. Like the camera, then you then forget about it. You move on. But like live leaks, it's literally that is the video. The video
Yeah.
is we're gonna record this so you can see this, so you know what happens to you. And then that's like, oh, dude, I don't know.
I just don't know how people can sit there and watch it. Like it's like
It makes
leaves me
sense.
feeling
I
so
think it makes
empty.
sense in a way.
Like it's
Not
just-
because I watch it, but it's just like people want to see that crazy shit, bro.
It's out of interest. It's just it's like when
Okay,
it's so
but, like,
foreign to you, it's so like it's in like you're curious as to what would happen because you've never seen it, but at the same time you kind of already know.
It makes them brain sensors fire. It's like it's probably for people. It's like if you watch normal porn for a long time. I know you watch a gay, Gaten, so this might not work for you. But if you just watch normal, then you're like, okay, I've watched enough of this. Let's watch like a threesome. Oh, I've watched enough of this.
And Cameron turns to T-porn.
Yeah, but at what point have you seen it all? And like you say, Gaten, you say like curiosity, but once you've seen it, like what brings you back to it?
Well, then
Other
there's
than
different
you-
videos.
It's just
like,
that
people
like
get-
exciting and
people
crazy.
get a
I
high
guess.
to
Probably.
seeing people perish and lose their life.
Maybe they
No,
probably
I think
don't
it's-
like it. It's probably they just like the feeling of like, holy shit, that was insane. Like this is crazy. Not necessarily that they like it. Probably just more. Like
I mean,
it
deep
just made my
down.
brain fire off. Like like why do people watch super graphic movies or sad movies?
Yeah,
It's just
no, I get
interesting.
that, but
Not that they
I don't
like
know.
it. It's just like it just
I
makes
would-
them feel a type of way. I guess.
deep down, there's definitely something there with it.
So you think Josh is like secretly a serial killer?
No, I'm not saying it's like serial killers are watching this, but like you're definitely getting some sort of pleasure from it, even if it's just like your adrenaline rushes from watching it. Like you get a high from it. Like same,
get spiked
just like
dopamine.
you just said, like people watch action, thriller, murder movie type stuff because they like it and they get something from it, some sort of feeling. So like deep down, there's something there with like people like Josh or whoever that watch it. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm curious.
No, the video. I think the reason. So, for example, Josh showed you it because it's interesting to see other people's reaction. I think that's probably what that was. Is like,
that I get.
I
that.
saw this messed up video. I'm now
I
gonna
get
show it to you. I'm now gonna watch you react to it. It's funny to see you squirm, and so that's kind
Oh,
of the
that
vibe
makes
from
sense.
that.
I get that, but I know damn
Like
well
live,
Josh
live
watches
leaks at
them
night
alone.
at at 10 p.m. by yourself in the bed for 50
Like,
minutes to an
screw
hour watching
TikTok. I'm gonna watch
watching video
live
after video
leaks.
after video. That's crazy.
Yeah, like that. Then, if you're doing that, there is something there. Like
I mean,
it's
why
not
do
just.
people watch One Man, One Horse? You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't even know what that is, but
Yeah, you do.
I
Come on.
know.
one man, one horse.
Like 2 girls, 1 cup.
man.
Those type videos.
Yeah, you don't know what
Oh,
that is.
that's the
It's
So
dude
the
that got
shock
killed by a
factor.
horse. Yeah, never mind. I know what you're talking about.
It's
yeah, he
definitely
got
just the
penetrated by a
shock
horse and
factor.
died.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like why would someone watch that? Like, do you definitely have no like I don't know. Like I don't. Why would you want
Like,
to
why
see
would
someone get
someone
penetrated by a
watch?
horse?
Why would someone watch like the 9/11 crash?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. If you put it that way, it makes more
It's
sense.
the
Yeah.
shock factor and like, holy shit, I can't believe this
Also,
is real.
it's something you've never seen. But also, if you saw it in person, you would never want to experience again.
Oh,
100%.
for
It's the
sure.
fact that you know it's not happening to you. It also makes you aware, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna watch out for that. And then also, you're safe. It's not you, but
Yeah.
it's also hard to grasp. Like, I don't know, the reality of it versus if you were there in person, that is so much different than being on the phone, a screen. It's hundreds of miles away from you, thousands of miles away from you. It's not going to touch you.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just safe in your bed.
Yeah, and you know that. So it's much different. But as
Yeah.
soon as it becomes real life, that no longer becomes something you want to
Sam,
experience.
there's guaranteed some people out there who do get off to and are like closet
That's what I'm-
killers.
yeah.
Like if they're like
I was
if it
alluding
was
to
legal
that.
or something, they would kill people.
100%.
Same thing goes with anything though. Like porn, people with porn addictions. Like some people watch porn because like anyone else, like they want to like do that. But then there's people that are like straight up addicted to it, and it's more than just for pleasure. It's something else. So
Yeah. Do you think
everybody has that thing, I guess.
if murder was legal that there'd be like a huge increase? Do you think a lot of people would stay ethical?
I don't know. That's hard. Because then, like, you think about, like, I don't know, people kind of like the Nazis. A lot of them said, like, a lot of the Germans that survived, that, like, went on to live.
Like they were still
a lot of them,
traumatized themselves?
no, a lot of them were like, you would do the same thing if you were in our shoes. Like, there was a guy who was, I think it was Vietnam. I think I heard somebody talk about this on a podcast, and he was like, they were talking about, like, they would torture Vietnamese that they, like, captured, and they were like, you would do the same thing. Like, you would do the same thing as, like, I don't know, it became like a game. Like, it's not like, I guess the Stanford Prison Project kind of proves that also.
What
Like,
is
people
that?
in power, you don't know what that is. Basically, they had like a bunch of college students, and they made like a fake prison. They had like 5 college students versus like 5 more college students, and so half of them were prisoners, half of them were jail officers. And then basically, what ended up happening was the people in power went like too far and made like they abused their power. Essentially, is what it was. So
They got off to the power.
yeah,
But I gotta say this though.
Sam would definitely get off the power.
So Gaten, you said with the Vietnam thing, like the U.S. soldiers would torture the Vietnamese, and like our soldiers said you would do the same if you were in our shoes.
yeah, because they were
And,
young.
yeah,
They're like young
yeah,
kids.
they were young and they were in a shitty situation. And they were watching their brothers die, so of course, it was like get back. I get what you're saying there, but the Nazi one, the reason that they said, like the ones that survived said you would have done the same if you were on our shoes, wasn't because they got off to power. It was because them as a country post World War One, it was like worse than the Great Depression. So that's why they said that, like, if y'all were in our shoes, you guys would have followed the Nazi regime and blah 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 blah. I just wanted to clear that up because it wasn't
True, yeah.
necessarily abuse of power by most of them. It was more like we had no other option, and this seemed like the best way for us to get back to like normal lives, and we didn't realize what we were getting into.
Sure, but there's also like there was definitely like I'm sure there was definitely guys who were nicer than others, but some definitely were just unnecessarily cruel. Like there had to be. Like there had to be
Oh,
so
yeah,
many
but-
more that were unnecessarily cruel than people who were nice.
Another misconception though too is that most of the like extermination camps, like SS soldiers, didn't even carry out the like murders. They would like assign like good behaving Jews to actually like fill the gas chambers and put Jews in crematoriums and shit like that, and they were called like K Jews or whatever. So it was like a mind or a mental like mind game that the SS and Nazis used against the
Even
Jews,
worse.
was to have their own kind exterminate each other.
Yeah,
And
that's even
if the
crazier.
K Jews didn't follow through with their act, well then they just got exterminated immediately, and they found a replacement for them to do it. So like they pit them against each other. So
You know what's also interesting is like now we're just going to World War II.
yeah,
What's also interesting is like how I can't remember. I read something like the most people died during Christmas because like the new year would start and so all their hopes would drop and then most people would die because their brain would like they would give out on holding out. So like
yeah.
mentally they gave up, so therefore they died. But those who stayed in the fight mentally, they lived longer, which is
Hmm.
super interesting to me.
Yeah, dude,
A
the
lot of
mind is
it,
a crazy thing.
a lot of it was dependent on where you went too. Like all the extermination camps were outside of Germany, and so that was more SS controlled. And then if you were in interior Germany, you were at an internment camp, so they like would try to work you to death. And that was more for like political figures and people in better standing who maybe weren't even Jews, and they had slightly better treatment simply because they were meant to work and not just literally go to perish.
Well, it is also interesting they didn't look at them like humans. So I guess that also plays a part. If you're like
Oh
killing a
yeah.
if you're killing a deer or killing a raccoon or
Or a
I
baby
don't know, a
deer if you're
squirrel. Yeah,
Colby.
baby deer. Yeah. If you're the Collins family,
Another
you get that
inside joke.
tender meat. You get that tender meat the baby deer have. But yeah, I guess easier to kill an animal than as a person. So I guess if you look at someone like trash, then it's easy to kill 'em,
Yeah,
which
they
is wild.
dehumanized them, that's for certain.
So do you
You ever
guys
heard of
think if you
the
were in the if you were the Nazi soldier's shoes, you would have killed people too?
I mean, there's actually a good quote, and I can't remember. I think I have a screenshot of it. Gaden, you can answer the question while I look for this.
You
I like
think
to
you'd have done
think
it again? Yeah, you like to
I like
think you
to
wouldn't.
I like to think not, but I do think like it's so hard because it's like I don't know.
Are you a
I found it.
sheep? Are you a conformist? I would have
I
said
found
hell
it.
no and started busting the
In
prisoners up.
in Cam, you actually made a good point there. So this is a quote by Banksy that I found on a back alley street in Prague, and it says, "The greatest crimes in the world are not committed by people breaking the rules, but by people following the rules. It's people who follow orders that drop bombs and massacre villages." So
That's
like,
true.
it's not the people in command committing the crimes like Hitler and all of them per se. They had the idea, but it's like the people thinking that they're fighting for their country or whatever that are actually following through. So I'd imagine, like, as shitty as it is, like, if I was, one of the Hitler Youth or like a German citizen and I was part of the Nazi regime, like, I'd imagine I would have followed through with it simply because I would have thought it was what was right.
True.
Because, like,
And look at the cartel.
yeah,
Cartel's literally the same thing.
like if you were to get drafted right now for the U.S. and go, like, you didn't dodge the draft, like, and I don't think any of us would, assuming we got drafted. Like, we're
No,
all
we're
going
men.
there thinking that we're gonna like we're doing the right thing, we're fighting for ourselves, for like what's right initially. We might have the wherewithal to realize turns out we were not fighting for what's right, but like I think we would do it. I would do it blindly, probably. Because they teach you at such a young age. They're like, oh, this is the greatest country
Yeah,
ever.
that's
Blah, blah, blah.
true. That's
I was
true.
gonna say that like it depends on because like I don't know, you're just completely different. Like I have religion. Like if I'm looking at myself now, I have like Christianity is what like let's say I didn't have Christianity, would my morals even be the same? Would I lie more? Would I cheat more? Would I steal more? Would I if I didn't believe that there was a reason not to? Like if I just believed that it was just we were all gonna die one day, but I'm listening to a law, then why would I even listen
Yeah,
to
why
it in the
not just
first
get
place?
away and go for personal gain as much as possible, whatever benefits you? That
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
makes
but
there's
you got to
sense.
no
think.
I have no accord to hold myself to besides
Yeah.
like, okay, other people made this law. It's like, but yeah, then if you're brainwashed and you're told that these people aren't even, they're not real people. They're not like true. They're like animals basically. And you're like, okay, well, I guess I could do that.
Well,
Like
it's like, dude,
they're
wars have been
rats.
wars have been fought like over religion, so like I feel like if you are a religious person, even you're probably going to want to go fight because out of like protecting your right to worship how you want to worship too, though, you know? Like wars were fought over this type of stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
not the
people
base.
also believe that they were like rats. Like apparently Hitler's journal is like he literally thought they were rats. He compared them to rats, like the
What?
black paint,
Doesn't even make
black
Oh,
like.
I'm not even talking about the Nazis anymore, though. I'm talking about just in general. Like,
I was just talking about like the Nazis. Like that's like if we were in that regime, then we would be taught like Jewish people were like the same as a rat, and you don't want a rat in your house, so therefore you exterminate. Like I'm pretty sure like that's how he wrote about them in his journals, which is wild.
I can pull it off the shelf right now and find out.
It's crazy that he was
But it
like, these people are rats. They're basically just rodents living on this planet, and it's good to exterminate. They're not good.
it wasn't just Jews though, too, dude. He got rid of all his political opposition,
Oh well, yeah.
gypsies, criminals, gays. Like, there was millions of people
Damn,
that weren't
Gaiden
even
would be
Jews that got
killed?
killed. Yeah.
No
Jesus,
comment.
dude.
Like I remember, so I went to Dachau a couple weeks ago, or like a month ago, and this was a internment camp, so they worked you to death here. That was the whole goal. And I took a picture of this original sign that they had up, and it was like basically the um like code. So like if you saw like a pink arrow on their like clothes, it meant a German political person, etc., etc. But then they had like the Star of David specifically for political opposition, and it would be pink Star of David. And then they had like the green Star of David, and that would be for immigrants. And then they had a purple Star of David, and that was for like priests. Like they literally put everyone into these things. Like if you were not basically with them, you were against them. Like biblically,
Yeah.
homosexuals, uh, stuff
Good.
like that. But like they literally had stuff for people that were non-Jew immigrants, non-Jew politicians, non-Jew priests. Like no one was safe, dude.
Yeah, that's another reason that like more than likely if we were in that situation we do it is because if not you're in the camp unless you escape.
Yeah,
But more than likely you're going in the camp if you don't do it. So it's either
yeah,
escape, go in the camp, or kill people. That's probably what you
yeah.
do. So
It was one of those things you had to have predicted that you needed to get out of there before, the borders were shut, basically. And even if you did, you still had a chance to like get in prison because like people from all the way to like Portugal, bro, died in the Holocaust.
that's
Like they
crazy.
like I remember looking at this map at Dachau and it was like 15 people that were living in Portugal at the time were like trafficked back to Germany and like slaughtered. Like people from Africa, like it was everywhere, bro.
Well, they did plan on taking over like the entire world.
Yeah, like it was gonna
Yeah.
be a new world order. So,
Have you guys ever heard of the rape of Nanking?
yep.
No.
Dude, that's a crazy one. It's a wild one. Basically, like Japan went on this whole rampage, and they would like. It was horrible. I don't even want to. Yeah, we'll just say it. Basically, they would go and just like, literally go and like rape anybody, like legitimately, like the action
What?
of raping
Like
people.
the
They would
people
rape
in
kids.
Japan would rape
They'd
other
rape
people in Japan?
no, like other countries. They would go
Oh.
and invade other countries, like China. They went and like demolish China, different cities, and they would rape kids. They'd have kids rape, like parents rape their kids. They'd rape grandmas. They'd rape
In the
everybody.
olden days? How long ago?
This is like 19.
What?
This is not far off. Let me look it up so I know. Like, dude, it's like whenever after this
Is
is
that why
like
we nuked?
before. Yes, this is before we nuked them, which is kind of like I heard somebody talk about it, and he was like, they deserve the nuke.
I mean,
It's
that's
funny
pretty
because like
crazy.
talking about stuff like this, like sometimes gets completely taken down from the internet. Like if you talk about that or Tiananmen Square.
And they
But you
don't talk about it either. They
Yeah, like
like
there's not evidence of that
you
at
can't
all
like
until
group all
recently.
of Japan together though and say that that's like what they did.
No, but like that was like covered up, bro. There's like no photographic evidence of that until like recently. Someone on TikTok leaked the
1937
ad.
to 1937-ish. So this is about World War II.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude, the world was just.
And
so much
Japan
shit
does not
today.
talk about it at all. Japan like wipes this from their history, like
Yep.
because obviously it's horrible. Same thing like how like Germans do not talk about World War II. It's the same thing. Like,
No,
and
that's
they would
not
go,
true. That's not true. They'll openly
oh,
talk
do they?
about it.
Oh, that's
From
good.
my experience, a lot of them will openly talk about it. In fact, my tour director, his grandfather was in the SS, and he was pretty open to talking about it. But there are things like if you like Heil Hitler, like throw up the salute, like that's prison time. Swastika, anything like that, that's like a massive fine and jail time. Like you can't have any of that. But what's funny is like in all the cities, there's still remnants, and you can see like um mosaics that were made. Like I passed Hitler's office during the like where he like would work, and up underneath this balcony there's like a mosaic, and it's a constant loop of a swastika, but since it's not just outright a swastika, they allowed it to stay. But it's like the original like mosaic piece that was under his office like balcony.
The Nanking is basically a spot, is a place in China, and like they have a whole film and book on it. And so in the book, it talks about, it says Japanese soldiers made a game of torturing and gang raping women and children. They encouraged by their officers to invent new and amusing ways of killing and torturing their captives. They did this to like thousands of people in like China.
Just
Crazy,
to
dude.
do it? Like, I'm so confused. There was no motive. Like, was it
Yes.
to take over
No,
China?
just, like,
were they trying
they
to
were
take
going,
it over?
I don't know exactly why, but it's like
There had to be a reason.
They got pissed
weren't just
off
like, oh,
at
I'm
China.
fucking bored. Let's just go rape people.
would
They got-
suspect there
they
was
got
some
pissed
mental
off at
warfare
China.
for sure.
Had
Yeah.
to be like for war. Yeah, trying to take it over.
Mental
Or something.
warfare, stuff like that.
What about you
going
guys?
against,
though?
dude, I don't know.
What would it take for you guys to just kill someone straight up?
I don't know, dude.
It would have to
Like
be
raping
like
your kid?
protection of my family,
family.
friends, and what I love. So I mean, that could go as far as like my own country per se, you know.
What if like a dude stole your winning lottery ticket and banged
Yeah.
your wife?
Okay, then yeah.
Nah, I don't think that.
Insta kill. You wouldn't kill over that, Gaten? What if
Are we
you get
talking
away
like
with
how are we
it?
talking? Are we talking like
You get
we're
away with it
killing them
100%.
ourselves?
You get to inject them in their sleep, no evidence, they die.
No, I don't think I could.
If he stole as $1 billion lottery winner.
It's not about the money for me. It's about
it's not about
raping
the
my
money.
wife, dude.
No, not
No, he
raping.
didn't rape your wife. He just
banged.
pulled your wife. So
He
your wife just
banged.
cheated
yeah,
on
your
you.
wife
willingly.
wanted it.
Oh, my wife wanted it. Oh, I'm not killing him. I'm just gonna like change my life for the better. Probably get closer
Yeah.
with God.
Damn, that's
Oh,
out. Okay.
God's plan. God's plan.
Jeez. No, I think like to
I'll
make
be
me
like
like
my
consider
dad
it,
and
it
my
would have to
mom.
be like if you raped someone like
Yeah.
for example, if you have kids and someone does something
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
give like a
it-
daughter. It's a, or,
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
even
it would have to-
even a son, obviously.
it would have to be over. I think then like that's the only time you'd have to even think about, or if you like your wife, if something happens like that to your wife, like or I don't know,
What if a
my
dude...
kids make it on Live Leak. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I thought you said raped my wife.
What
and
about
stole
even those
my
like punching your
money.
wife in the face?
Oh, it's not gonna make me kill somebody.
No, I'm probably just beating the shit out of him if I can. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, or making that dude's life a living hell for the rest
Yeah,
of his life.
there's probably not much discussion for this. I feel like everyone would
Yeah.
agree it's for the same shit. If
I
Josh
don't
was
like-
here, he'd be like,
I'd
he
break
stole
his
my
ribs.
cookout tray or something. I'd kill
Yeah.
him.
Josh would be like, I'm gonna put him in the hospital so I can give him CPR and then break his
yeah, Josh.
That's what Josh would do. Josh would be like, he's gonna be in my domain for the rest of his life. That's honestly the way you would do it. I don't think anybody would kill him. I think the way you would do it is like you would just make him paralyzed, like make it.
Yeah.
Like, then he can't kill himself, and then you just literally make his life suck that way.
Or
Like,
yeah,
break
make him. Oh
break
my god,
both legs.
5-head play. Make him paralyzed to where he can't cut his hair and it grows out, and then send him to El Salvador, and then the cartel gets him and puts him on.
Roll him down a hill. There's a whole
Yeah.
line of people waiting, and he's in his chair.
The
His long
ultimate
hair
strategy.
flowing. Yeah, that would be wild.
I thought Gator would say like, no matter what someone would do, I would never take a person's life.
I honestly don't know if I could.
Conscientious objector.
Yeah.
I
You
personally
also
don't know if I
comments
could.
what-
It's hard.
Yeah, it's
Drop in
also
the
hard.
comments what it would take for you to commit murder.
What'd you say?
Drop in the comments what it would take for you to commit murder.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's gonna be like, yeah. I don't know.
No, dude,
Everybody's
there's
big
dumbasses
talk.
out there just say like, I get bullied in school, I'm gonna shoot up the school Saturday, and then they post that
You're not wrong.
on social media, and they could do it without getting
Not
caught.
wrong.
Yeah.
What was that one dude that did that? Whenever we were in school, what was that big thing?
Oh,
The fuck?
that's crazy.
I
I
swear,
remember that.
a crazy thing about school shooters is they always look like school shooters.
Yeah.
Like,
And
you could
they,
always
show their
tell.
parts.
Yeah, dude.
Well, it's not like they have a successful life where they're like, I don't know.
It's typically bad home life.
Yeah.
No friends.
Maybe that was fucked up to say.
Bullied, stuff like that.
Jackson.
Oh.
No, I'm joking.
Dude,
That's an inside
that's-
joke also
that
for me,
really
Cameron.
is-
There was this one day, a side tangent. Me and Gaden had like our own little podcast thing when we were in like middle school. Like we recorded one or tried to record one, but Gaden didn't share his mic like a dumbass. And one of the questions on there was who in our friend group looks the most like a school shooter, and we both said
And Jackson had just shaved his head, so it was like sophomore year, freshman year of high school.
And we
Jackson
told
shaved his
Jack, we
head.
brought that up during a lunchtime, and Jackson got so butthurt about it.
So he got really sad. He was like, "But why? Why would it be me?" He just couldn't. I don't know. We were like, Jackson, I don't know. It's just you were chosen, homie. Out of everybody in the group, it's gonna be you.
Yeah,
I
dude.
don't know. It was
Maybe
so
that
funny.
is fucked up to say, because like, not about Jackson. That's valid, but just like
That was valid.
that school shooters look like school shooters, because maybe they're like already getting bullied for their looks or something, and that's what sends them over the edge.
Yeah, that's
I
probably
don't
it.
know, dude. I feel like it's just like.
They're already mentally like fucked up.
I mean, everything has a look, dude. I don't know if it's because of their looks themselves, but like a goth person looks goth, an athlete looks like an athlete, happy person looks happy, school shooter looks like a school shooter.
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if they're at the gym, they wouldn't look like a school shooter, and then they could confuse us.
If they went to the gym.
Yeah, they got big. You'd never think a guy who's like massive would shoot the school up. It's always the skinny people, right?
Who is that super?
Out of shape.
Who is that super like? Was it Ted Bundy who was like super attractive to girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, he only killed women.
But he was like
Yeah, dude.
super like attractive and like really social, had good social skills.
Yeah,
So
he
see,
was
that's
very
like-
good at talking.
That's
and,
an
like,
outlier for that.
Women on the news, like when he started like, or I think it was after he got arrested. Like there was a lot of like girls. Like he became like a heartthrob for a little bit, even though he was like a serial murderer on women. It was
Weird how
strange.
women have that weird thing going on.
Yeah,
This-
it was like. They
By the way,
wanted
this
him.
conversation makes me continuously look back at my door because my lights are off. And it's 11:30, and I just keep looking back at my door in case like someone walks up and stabs me in the chest.
What is looking back gonna do?
Yeah.
I don't
You're gonna
know.
take-
I get to react. I don't know. I've practiced. I don't know this
Absolutely.
MMA. I guess we're gonna figure out if this is the hardest sport truly, because hand-to-hand contact about
What
what
would it
happened to
take Gaten to
somebody.
kill someone?
Also, I don't have a lock on my door. That's the awesome thing
Oh,
about my
what the
room.
hell?
Brant has a lock in his room, so no one's ever gonna touch him. But if the
Yeah.
doors are ever unlocked in this house, I'm definitely the first one to be touched because I don't have a lock on my room.
Damn.
You would like that, wouldn't you?
Dude, I'd be so
Yeah.
petrified.
Gaten's waiting for the day. He's really
Yeah.
looking back in hopes.
Yeah.
Last night, I had a dream that like I don't remember what it was. It's like it was so weird. It was like in a classroom. No, it was like foster care. Like you know how kids go to foster care, and there's always like
What the
horror stories
hell?
about kids going to foster care.
Dreaming
Like
about
when-
kids again.
They're my favorites. No.
What?
And so I was like, I don't remember what it was. It was like it was so weird. It was like one section of the room was like black, and like I was getting drugged to it, and then I was pulling my physical body away from it. And when I woke up, I could feel my back shaking, and I was like pulling myself back. It was so weird, dude. It felt so like my body was physically trying to move while I was in this dream. And so like I woke up and I could feel my back, like I pulled my entire body back, and I was like checking my room out. I was
Yeah.
waiting for someone to be
You
there,
may-
dude.
You may very well have gotten touched in your sleep because I had a dream recently. And it was thunderstorming.
What?
I'll explain it.
You've
Great-
got to commit.
great
to what you're
transition.
saying.
I'll explain it. I had a dream also recently, and it was thunderstorming in real life, but no thunder had happened yet. And in my dream, the whole dream was that I was consciously dreaming. Like it was a dream of a dream. And within that, I knew that like it was storming, and at one point I was like in my head, and bang, like a thunderclap, right?
Yeah.
And right when I did that in the dream, I woke up to the loudest thunder I'd ever heard in my life. So I feel like maybe you were actually getting touched in your sleep. And
So I got touched.
That's why your back was like spazzing out because someone was doing something to you. Because my body was reacting to the storm outside.
Shit.
Don't
real
project
life.
these
That's
things on
actually,
me. Just because you've been touched does not mean I have.
Is that
some.
not valid, Cam? I really
that
think.
definitely makes sense for sure.
Yeah.
I bet it does make sense now that it's Gaiden, and then everybody wants him to be touched for some reason.
What?
No.
Of course not, bro.
Come on.
I had a great thought about that. Fuck, what was I saying? No! No! I hate this. Always happens on the podcast.
I don't know, but I can tell you another thing I do not want to happen. Sleep paralysis.
Ooh,
Hell no.
Yeah, that's scary.
Sleep paralysis, dude. I will never forget. I was like walking. I slept at my dad's house one time. Like I stayed at my mom's for the most part, but my brother always stayed at my dad's. I woke up. It was like not 8 in the morning. I walked past his room and I could hear him like almost like yelling with his mouth closed. Scared the shit out of me, dude.
Oh,
It was horrible.
Jesus.
Dude, and he has this box fan. He locks his door. He has a box fan going and he locks his door. Then I was like trying to knock on his door to wake him up, and then he just goes silent. And then he was like, this was like, I knocked on his door for like dead ass 2 minutes, like saying his name over and over again. And then he was like, huh? And I was like, you all right, dude? And he was like, thank you for waking me up. He's like, I could not wait. He's like, I had sleep paralysis. I couldn't wake up. Like I was yelling in my dream. I couldn't wake up. I was like, dude, that is the scariest thing ever. Like he thought he was awake. Like he was trying to wake himself. You know what sleep paralysis is?
Yeah.
Okay. So those who don't know, it's like you feel like you're not in a dream, but you are in a dream. So it's like you're laying in bed and your eyes are awake, like you're just looking around, but you can't move. So it's wild, but you're in a dream. You have to like realize you're in a dream and snap yourself out of it somehow by like picking out something that's not real. But a lot of people have they'll have this sleep paralysis dream where they're stuck in their bed and they can't move, but then someone like enters the door, or like this black super long slender man boy is just sitting at the edge of your bed, and you see him and he's moving around your room and you can't get up and you can't like defend your dude. It's horrifying. Yeah, and so like he was like, I can't move, and he was trying to make himself move, but obviously he's in a dream, but he doesn't realize it. And so he couldn't wake himself up. Dude, I was like, oh my
I think
gosh.
I sort of like that.
Huh?
Like to have that experience. Like
You would? That sounds wild.
I don't know. I'd like to get that scared one time, because then I feel like not a lot can scare
Hell
me.
no.
No, Kim, bro, you're not gonna be able to handle that, bro.
Dude,
No.
what?
Hereditary gets you fucking.
I know, but I like.
Scared as shit.
It's fun being scared like that, low-key.
It's fun.
No, I
I
get that.
agree. It is fun.
He's
to
a
be
live
scared.
league boy.
Like
We found
after-
a live league boy, dude.
What?
No,
We found a live league
That's
boy.
not the
Like,
same
weird.
scared. That's like shocked. This
Cam wants to be like adrenaline pumping, like thinking
Yeah.
he's gonna die.
That sounds so much fun.
It is. It is like
No,
a
like-
good like.
You guys are crazy, dude. Yeah.
mean,
Remind me never to hang out with y'all in this
Why?
serious situation, dude. What is happening?
no,
I
because
mean, in a serious situation, I'm gonna.
why
be
do people
serious.
go to freaking like horror parks or whatever they're called? What are
Yeah.
those? Horror
I
field.
love
and
to
stuff?
feel like I'm about to
Trails.
die.
Yeah.
I love when I feel like I'm about to be touched by
people-
somebody, but I can't do anything about it. It makes me feel so live.
People's number one complaint is that like those haunted houses and shit are underwhelming because they don't actually get scared. Like getting scared is like I haven't been
Hell
scared
no,
in
dude.
so long
mean-
because I benched 245 now. So just having something like the sleep paralysis demon walk around my room when I can't move and actually
Oh,
being
he's gonna-
scared, it'd be
Just gonna
nice.
pinch him.
Gaiden, would you ever want to see God like in real life?
What? I think
I feel
everyone
like-
would like that.
I feel like you would, but I feel
Especially
like at the same time
Christian.
you'd be petrified. If you look at
That's
any
why
time in the
I'm
Bible,
asking. That's
if
why
you
I'm
look at
asking.
any time in the Bible, it's like anytime they see angels, they like shit themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
asking.
Like
because,
it's every single time.
Because I feel like I would, but I wouldn't. I feel like that I would shit a brick. Like that would be probably the scariest thing to ever like
For
experience.
sure.
Not only that, but then it's like, I don't know. Now you it's not to say like I don't know. Maybe there's like a pressure that would come with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like
For
you
it's
wouldn't
been
know what
sure.
to do.
it's been even more confirmed to you now. It's like you are gonna, because usually when angels come, it's like, hey, we have this message delivered for you. You're gonna do this, and it's like,
Yeah.
imagine if they were like, you're gonna go, I don't know, something just crazy, like now like I don't know. It's just it'd
Like
be
that
crazy.
would scare the ever living daylights out of me. Like the
It would be cool.
pressure, all of it. I mean, it'd be cool, but like, dude, that would be.
It would be literally the coolest thing possible.
It would
But
be.
The
your
most
whole life's like
exciting
riding
thing.
on it. I feel
Yeah, then
like.
your whole life changes after because it's like,
Yeah, but is it for good always? It couldn't always be.
I mean, it's
I
gotta
mean,
be.
I would
I feel
say
like
it'd
if
be
he
good if you
comes and
believe.
gives you a message, you gotta follow it.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you believe in
Obviously,
Christ,
because like,
it'd be good
I
for
agree.
sure. If
even
you
if
mean,
you
I
did
don't trust,
not,
yeah.
I don't know.
I
I would say it
trust,
would be good.
I trust in the life I lived. So if I ever did have that experience, like, I feel like I'd be confident, but I'd also be very like stressed out, nervous, stuff like that, anxious.
No, I think it would be sick because now it's like there's nothing that like, can deter you away from that if you saw it yourself for sure. So then
Yeah,
like no matter what anybody says, you're just like, all right, well I had this experience,
yeah.
so it would just make it
And
to
you just
where
look like a psycho. Also, but I guess it doesn't matter. I know it doesn't matter because you actually experienced that. But then, like, who's
I
to
mean,
yeah, but
say
that's
other people? I'm sure there's other people. Like, have you? I know it's sort of a weird tangent, but do you guys see the video of that chick on the plane that made the plane turn around? Sam probably more
yeah. She
likely
thought
saw.
she saw a skinwalker type thing.
Yeah, and she was like,
Yeah,
and she freaked out, but everyone thought she was crazy. Like, what if she actually
yeah,
saw that and then? I know it
yeah. She
doesn't
thought
matter
she saw
because who
like a
cares what other people think.
shapeshifter. She was like, "That is not real." Like,
So,
but
like,
who
that's
knows?
wild.
Like, was she on drugs?
would you
Like,
have
what
in the back of your head, like, the basic main point I was gonna say is, like, I would be freaking out to myself, like, God just told me to do this. Like, what if I'm just fucking crazy? Because he's never come and, like, visited anyone else. Like, what if I'm just psycho?
I don't know. I would
You'd
just be
have to, like, ultra
worried.
confirm it's him or
I would be
something.
worried that like if I had that experience, like I would want to share it to a point that like I would almost come off as like a prophet to like people, and I
Yeah,
wouldn't
no
want
one's
to do
gonna
that 'cause then
believe
it's
you,
like false
bro.
prophet.
Like, if
no,
you.
but at the same time though, it's also like
Who cares if people believe you?
no, it's like I mean like the whole point is like if you look at the Bible and like as a Christian, you believe like if you're truly a Christian, you believe that like God speaks to you regardless.
Yeah,
Right? Like he speaks to you through the Bible. So you pray, there's a reason like you pray and you ask God to like if you're truly trying to figure out something, like give me a sign, like give like
yeah,
show me and like God can do that through scripture. God can do that through prayer. He can show you physical things and like life. So it's like he can just I don't know like people
he
will
can work
a
through
lot of
anyone
things
or anything.
yeah a lot of things will be like hey I've heard this same thing like four different times from four different people who had no idea that I needed
Yeah,
like
who
the answer
aren't
to this.
connected whatsoever type deal or
So
whatever.
like
Yeah,
honestly like if you're practiced like if you truly like connected like have a like relationship with God, then you kind of like you experience that anyway. So seeing a physical, if you already believe in God, is like I don't know. You would just you would believe it regardless, and you wouldn't really. But now, if you were like atheist, I don't know, atheist, that would probably just I don't know. I feel like that would just turn you on to
Yeah, no
God
shot
faster.
atheists actually seeing God as there's no way they stay atheist.
No, they're like
yeah,
people who
that's
die,
probably
people
the
who almost
scariest thing.
die, and they say they come back to life. That's got to be like, especially people who are like there's a guy, I can send you the podcast. He's on the Sean Ryan show, which I think Sam, I've sent you the one of his podcasts before, but he was a Navy SEAL and he said at like 8 or 9 years old, he saw Jesus in his room. And he was like dead ass. Like I saw Jesus. And he was like, he was wild. Like I saw him in the corner of my room in the middle of the night when I woke up one night. And then he said like he was like a luminescent, super bright. Now this is his experience, but he believes in God now. But like, and then he said he disappeared, and he was like, it was the darkest I've ever like. It's the darkest it's ever been. He was like, I slept. He said he slept under his covers till he was in a senior in high school. After that, And he said like he went to a friend's house and he never went to church after that
So-
for like 20 years. And he said like he went to his friend's house once and his friend's dad was a pastor. He didn't know. And he saw a picture of Jesus on the wall and immediately called his parents to pick him up.
Dang.
He like
They're, like,
traumatized
guard him.
him.
Yeah, it traumatized him for
Oh.
some reason. For some reason, like that traumatized him. And then years and years later, like now he believes in God and like, but it made him not go to church for 20 years. Like he would go to church for like, I don't know, like weddings and such, but he didn't like he wouldn't attend the church in general. He didn't pray.
Oh, okay.
He it completely turned him away until years later. And then like he started praying and then it like connected him. And he said like one of his things, another way like it's interesting how like God can communicate was like he said he was in his car and he was like praying. He was like, God, like I need to know that I'm saved. Like how do I know that I'm like actually there? Like how do I know I actually believe? And he was asking for like a sign. And he said he was driving down the road and after he asked, he said he was like crying, like sobbing in his car, like trying to get an answer. And he said he saw a sign that said saved on it. Like as he's driving, not like you can save money or save 10%. He said it said saved and that was it on the side.
Yeah.
And he's driving down the road.
And you'd never seen it before type deal, dude. I'm telling you, like, when I was younger, I didn't really, I guess didn't even have the capacity to really know for sure, but I would probably say I leaned towards I didn't really believe in anything. But I had some moments in my life where like I felt like I had talked to God and I started believing. But like if you're one of those people that like hasn't ever had a connection or anything, I'm telling you right now, try to like pray or like talk to God about anything in your life that like could be good or bad things, and then just see like the next couple of days. I swear it'll be like crazy. Like
An
you'll get
important
signs.
Yeah, an important thing also is like you have to like mean it, which is like
Yeah, like
super hard. It's super hard to
do
say
it
that.
for the wrong reasons. Like you
Like,
actually have to.
if you pray but you're not like, I don't know, it's super hard to say. Like I don't, because I like there's times where like you pray and you're just praying just to pray or whatever, but you don't truly like want an I don't know, not want an answer, but like you don't really like, I don't know how to even like
I
describe
also
it.
don't think you should only pray about like things you want fixed to God too. You need to like talk about what you're thankful for and stuff like that too. I feel
It's like a
if you
conversation.
yeah, like if you're just going to God and asking him to like solve all your problems, I don't feel like that's like
It's not
a
gonna work.
good
It's not
way
gonna
to
fix
go
it.
about it. But like Gaden said, like if you actually mean it and like you're doing this like consistently and it's not just all about just all the bad in your life, like days, weeks, like you're gonna like notice things in your life that are like different.
I would
Like
say
out
the
of
times
nowhere.
I've noticed is like when I feel like I'm like super disheveled, like super confused, super like anxious.
Yeah,
Those are the times I
clarity.
get kind of like, yeah, clarity and like kind of like a response, if that makes any sense. Because then I'm
Hmm.
like, all right, I don't know what to do and I have nothing else to turn to, so I'm just gonna turn. And then for the most part, that's when it turns, like when you actually get something. It's usually like
Yeah.
when something bad happens and you're like, all right, I've got like nothing else to do, and so like I'm like super desperate at this point. Usually when you're super desperate, that's when it like kind of makes it more clear, which
Yeah.
is wild. But that's typically when you mean it more, because then you've tried everything else and you don't know what to do. But
Honestly, like
also,
if
yeah,
I don't know about you, but I feel like for me, when I really mean it, I get like goosebumps sometimes, and for whatever reason, like that's when I really feel like I'm talking to God. And I don't know, that just might be me, but if that happens to you, then maybe you're doing something right. I don't know.
I have prayed. I have prayed like I've had that happen also. I
Yeah.
have prayed like in the past, and I was asking for like an answer about a question that I had like in church, and
Hmm.
then I literally like was like, all right. I prayed about it. I said I was confused. I didn't know what to do, and then I opened up the Bible, and it basically went to a verse that was about the subject, which is so crazy. Like
Dude,
I
that's
opened it.
happened to
I
me.
I opened it to I was like, I'm gonna go to First Corinthians or Second Corinthians, or I'm gonna go to this, and it opened it. I accidentally opened it to like First Timothy, and I looked and I read through one of the chapters, and it happened to be about the subject that I was praying about, which is
Yeah.
wild. But that's like an example of like how it can come through in Scripture, which is
God
it's just
works
I don't know, it's
in
crazy.
mysterious ways.
The
So.
Christianity podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spreading Jesus. Yeah. It's just wild, dude. It's just wild. It's also like I remember Mr. Ellison explaining it. An easy way to explain it, like obviously it doesn't like continue like this. I think I told Sam is like the nice way is like if you do believe in Christianity but it's wrong. I mean, there's nothing bad happens. You just basically like I mean, the Bible doesn't teach anything bad, so you were just nice to everybody. You just loved everybody. You forgave everybody, and you just became a better person. And you just, if you're wrong, it's black. But if you're right, then it's good. Versus if you don't believe in the Bible and you're wrong, then it's like horrible. Because then, obviously, you don't believe in the Bible, you go to hell. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's I don't know. That's an easy way to like, I guess, kind of navigate whether another reason. I don't know. Everybody has faith in
Believe in
something.
God. Put all your faith in God. Do right by God. You'll be good.
Everybody has faith in something.
Yep.
Is it time
Do we
for
need
the
to
fastest
do
five?
fastest five?
Yeah, that's a long pod.
All right. It is now time for Cam's Fastest Five, brought to you by nobody. We're gonna break down the rules of Cam's Fastest Five real quick, like I do every pod. Me and Gaden, since we have the absentee Jackson Reed, will be giving Cam 5 items. We'll let Gaden give him 3. I'll give him 2. We'll go snake draw here. So Gaden, you'll start us off, and once Gaden gives him the first item, Cam's got to put that 1 through 5, and once he's locked it in, he cannot move it. Take a second for Gaden to think of his 3 things and my 2, and then we'll begin. Whenever you're ready, Gaden.
All right, the first one will be the gym. Ooh.
2. Love me some
Oh.
gym.
All right.
All right.
Do I go?
Jesus.
Do you go? Oh,
Yep, Jesus Christ.
1.
Yes, sir. That's the correct answer. That's correct answer.
Yeah.
Women.
3.
Ooh.
MMA.
4.
Parker.
Well, this is the best list yet. 5.
Yep. All right. That's a quick fastest 5 round.
That might be the fastest 5.
Yeah, so we're getting on brand now with the fastest 5 after 20 pods.
Little
rounding out
brother
the
is fifth place.
Rounding out the list, we've got Jesus Christ at 1, correct answer. 2, we've got the gym. 3
Women.
is women. 4
MMA.
is MMA, and 5 is Parker. And for those viewers at home, that is Cam's brother. I'll shoot it to Gaden. Gaden, what are you rating this list based off of the order he received the items? What do you think out of 10?
Putting JC's first, all that matters. So it's got to be 10 out of 10. That's pretty good. Pretty good list.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree. I think I actually think this is a 10 out of 10 list
Damn,
by
Christ.
Cam. 20th pod, and he's got his what? That's your first 10 out of 10, isn't it?
That's
Yeah, so-
now I gotta do the Twitter shout outs. If you want to be shouted out at the end of the next episode, all you have to do is go to my Twitter at CamHatchin and retweet this episode. So if you retweet episode 20, you get shouted out in 21. It's everyone. So just go do that. Free clout. So might as well. And the people to shout out for this one is Jeff Wilkes, the boy.
Hey, okay.
Then
Let's
Cliff
go. We got a
Lumen.
new Shout out.
Yes, sir.
Cliff, longtime friend of the show. We're gonna have him on the pod soon.
Then I Matthew.
Hey,
That's crazy.
I'm Matthew, also longtime friend
Still
of the
the
show.
number
No
one viewer.
competition. Yep, he's our number 1 viewer.
And another one. They have 4 retweets. So Jagger Carr.
Ooh, Jagger.
Don. Haven't heard from the
Let's
Don in
go.
a while. Hopefully he listens to this pod and maybe we can speak with him.
Yeah. Any ending remarks? All I gotta say is Galen is by far the deepest guest on the pod. First one we talk about politics. Second one we talk about religion. Gaden
Yeah.
is the deep talker.
Off the dome too. This is off the dome. We were hanging out before this podcast, and now we brought up even more subjects.
Yeah, I gotta say, my closing remarks are Gaden's really impressed me, and unfortunately, my good friend, co-host Jackson Reed couldn't stay true to the schedule. I might be voting in favor of Gaden in our exit meeting here.
Damn, that's crazy, Hoss. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm down to give Hoss a final chance. If he misses another schedule, it's actually over.
All right.
Man, what are you guys
I'll
doing
agree
then?
with that.
Yeah.
We'll give Hoss one last chance.
You have anything to end it off, Gaden?
No, I appreciate it, boys. This was fun. I enjoyed this. I'll be on again.
For sure. We'll definitely have Gaden on again.
We'll get number 30 going.
What the hell can we talk about next time? Genders, the state of the world.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh,
You don't,
Russia,
need, you, don't,
Ukraine.
you don't want to get started on that.
Yeah.
Me and Blake are about to dominate this podcast. If you give us that those options, dude. Oh, it's about to be over.
State of the world. What's like the deepest
COVID vaccines.
What's the latest? Yeah, some like crazy shit. I'm sure.
Talk about the Wagner group.
But that's all I have. So I guess see you guys next week.
All right, bye-bye, boys.
Peace out.
Peace.